Okay, guys, I am so excited. It is less than 200 days until our hashtag choose your own adventure trip. So let me tell you just a real brief about this trip, just in case you're hopping in on this video, and then I will get started into our little talk. So this choose your own adventure trip, I got the idea about 6 years ago. My husband's family, every 5 or 6 years, they want to travel and do a big thing together. And so they decided they wanted to do the Grand Canyon this time, and we've never been to the Grand Canyon. So we said, okay, we'll save up, we'll do this road trip, and then always, it never fails. And my husband and I look at each other and we're like, I have a crazy idea. And then we're like, part of us is just holding back, and we're a little like, oh no, what's gonna happen now? And then the other part is so excited because we just love crazy ideas. So we decided for this trip to the Grand Canyon to meet my husband's family that we are going to drive to the Grand Canyon from the Chicagoland area. And because we were both engaged and married on Route 66, we kind of have a special place on our heart for that. And we've never actually been on the route for Route 66, except for in the Illinois and Missouri area. So we are going to drive all of Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica in California, stop in Grand Canyon to be with the family, and then we actually love the Oregon coast. And my husband's never been to California, so we're going to take the Pacific Coast Highway, pick it up there in the LA area, and take it all the way up to Seattle, and then of course drive home again. So we're expecting about a 7,000-mile road trip. Lots and lots of planning. We do not have a lot of money. Like I said, this is 6 years in the planning. You can see, I'll link to it. I have a blog post about saving $20 a month, and that's what we've been doing. Save more if you can. I've got a chart there that you can see how much that adds up to over a couple years. We do a lot of tent camping. We do a lot of credit card rewards. Anyway, so I've got other posts about that. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit. So this is my stash so far. So we are about 6 months out from the trip. And a couple years ago, when we had started planning this trip, I had bought a book. We had planned a Yellowstone trip, which we already did. And I bought a fabulous book for that. I can share that link with you too. And then I bought this Grand Canyon book. So the Grand Canyon is obviously huge. And it seems a little daunting when you're planning for it. Because look at this book. It's huge. And it's just a little bit about some of the trails and the places that you can see. But this book does a really good job. The sides are color-coded here. I don't know if you can see that. But they're color-coded to the North Rim, the Inner Canyon, and beyond the boundaries. There's the South Rim, there's background. There's a lot of information in this. And this is a moon travel book. So I'll leave a link for this in case you guys are interested in this Grand Canyon book. But it's fantastic. There's maps, there's food ideas, there's all sorts of information. You could find online, but when you're on the road and you don't have really good cell reception, this is a good book to have with you. Alright, so like I said, we're doing this massive, massive trip. Our budget for 41 days on this trip is about $5,000. I'm hoping a little bit less, but I'm saving a little bit more just in case. That's kind of how we do things. So a year before we go on this trip, I start collecting souvenirs for the kids, so we don't buy souvenirs on the road. Food that's non-perishable, that won't expire by then, things of that nature. So I'm going to share with you guys a few things that we've saved so far, souvenir-wise, just to give you a sneak peek. So I usually don't buy something for myself for our road trips, but this time I did, and it's not really cute, but I loved it because it said Route 66. So I found this denim purse, and it's kind of a weird shape, in my opinion, but I love that I can wear it on my back, so when we're hiking and I'm running in and out of the car with the kids, I can just throw it on me, and denim holds up really well. But I don't know if you can see here, the fabric is Route 66 on both sides, and so this is kind of going to be my go-to bag while we're on our trip, because I can pretty much just hang it anywhere, and it's got a huge inside, there's a bunch of pockets in here. So I bought this for myself. I actually found it at the thrift store for like $4, and I'm not sure if, I don't think it's handmade, but it's brand new. It's really nice, and it's super heavy duty in quality, so I know this is going to last for our whole road trip, which is kind of my concern, because we're going to be basically living in our car with 3 kids for 5 days, so it's going to be really interesting. Alright, so I've got a couple of souvenirs for the kids, and usually what I do on my past road trips, I have wrapped all the gifts up individually and put a number on them, and then the kids can earn them or earn dollars, fake dollars, towards buying these gifts from me at strategic different points during the trip. That way they can either coexist with attractions that we're visiting, or it will save, it'll just keep the kids kind of happy and looking forward to something in the long stretches of the trip. One of the things that my husband loved growing up was the Goonies movie, and of course we're going on the Pacific Coast Highway Trail up through Oregon, and the Goonies film sites and house my husband and I have been to, but the kids have not, are up in Astoria, Oregon, and I snagged this Goonies shirt for like $6 on Target clearance. So I bought this Goonies shirt for my son. And one thing we learned the last time that my husband and I were up on the Oregon coast is it can get really cold, even in the middle of the summer. It can get really windy. So I went ahead and grabbed him a long sleeve shirt for that trip. We are also going to be going to Chinatown in California. So I found these gorgeous fans, and these were actually at the Dollar Tree, and they were only $1, which is fantastic, and then I don't have to feel bad if the kids break them, especially with my 4-year-old. But these are really beautiful, and we're going to go and learn about the culture there, and we're going to take the kids to experience a really great cultural area that actually none of us have been to before, so I'm really excited about that. And these fans will be a special little souvenir for them of their time there. And I do a lot of thrift store shopping because I like it, and it's super cheap and it's great for souvenirs. But I found this brand new San Francisco trolley car. Check this thing out. So you pull this little tab on the bottom, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's vibrating. Let's see if we can get it to go across. There we go. There it goes. So this is really fun. I'm going to give this to my 4-year-old. And this is their little trolley, so it'll actually be our entire family's first time on a trolley. So I'm pretty excited about this. The only thing you really have to be careful of when you're taking these big road trips is that if you pack too many souvenirs, you're going to have suitcases of stuff. And when you are tight on space, that's a big problem. So this, normally I would not buy this. I don't know what I was thinking when I got it, except the fact that it's super, super cute. Super cute little trolley. I couldn't pass it up. So I'm trying to be really mindful about what kind of souvenirs I pack because we're going to be gone for over a month, which is why I bought the shirt. I'm going to get some polarized sunglasses for my boys because we're going to be on the road so much. And for my 4-year-old, they kind of like toys a little bit better. So I've been stocking up on some goodies for her. Now we're going to be on the California coast and the Oregon coast. So we have to, of course, make a stop in Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is not cheap, let me tell you. But I've heard it's fantastic, so we're going to try it out. So I found this little plush otter guy, and these are all at the thrift store. I bought them for like 50 cents. So this little otter beanie baby. I've got this cool Thai beanie baby here, and you can even see I still have the 50-cent price tag on it. Let's see what this guy's name is. They all have names. This is Wiggly. So there's Wiggly here. One of my favorite ones I've got is this huge manta ray. Look at this guy. He's fantastic. So he's going to come with us. Got a cute little fish. He'll be a nice little filler souvenir along the way. We're also going to go to the California Academy of Sciences, which is in California, and of course we're spending tons of time on the beach, so we'll be looking for some of the animals. Here's a pelican, beanie baby, and I found this pretty little rainbow seahorse here, and he also still has his 50-cent tags on, so make sure you take the tags off when you do this. But, so the premise of our trip, just in case you haven't been with us before and you're jumping in, is it's choose your own adventure. So my kids love the choose your own adventure books. If you haven't heard of them, basically they're books you read through, awesome stories, they're kind of mysteries and adventurous. But then when you get to the end of the book, then you get to choose which ending you want the story to have, and it will tell you to go to this page for this ending and go to this page for this ending. And then you have a different ending for your story. So on this, we're going to do hashtag choose your own adventure, so you can follow us on Twitter and wherever else we end up throwing the hashtag up at. And we'll have tons of pictures on Facebook. And the kids are going to get to choose their own adventures. So I'm working on these little cards. Nothing fancy, just handwritten little cards. And at different points along the stop, I'm going to hand the kids 2 or 3 cards. And I'm going to say, okay, kids, choose your own adventure. Do you want to go to the Mom Museum or to this playground or to the beach? And they're going to get to choose what we do that day. Because, hey, I'm on this huge adventure and I'm having a great time, and I think the kids should have an input too. When my husband flies from Seattle back home because he's got to get back for work, it's just going to be me and the kids from Seattle back to the Chicagoland area. So, again, I'm going to make these cards. And I'm going to have completely different routes to get home. You can go through Montana and Idaho, or not Montana, sorry. You can go through Glacier National Park in Idaho and North Dakota all the way down. You can drop down and go through Colorado and South Dakota. And actually, the third trip, we can actually make it almost all the way down to the Tetons and not be terribly far away. And we went to the Tetons a few years ago. It's fabulous. So I'm gonna offer that road trip route. And the kids are going to get a day to discuss and decide what they want to do, how soon they want to make it home, how long it's going to take us. And we're just going to hop in the car and see where we show up for the day. And our itinerary I actually have on a Google Sheets so that we can plan day by day. But once we hit Seattle, there's nothing on there because the kids are going to get to pick what we do every day. So this is how I do souvenirs. Again, I'm not taking a lot of souvenirs on this road trip, aside from, maybe a shirt here, a hat here, things like that, things that are wearable that the kids can actually use and pack. But thanks for hopping in on us, and check out some of our other videos, and I'll make sure I have #ChooseYourOwnAdventure so that you can find them a little bit easier. Okay? Thanks, guys.